What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house again. Content for today has been a whirlwind of information, overload, stuff going everywhere. So Uncle Fred, waited a little bit, making sure the stuff is what it is. Still may not be what it is, but we're going to tell you what we got, and we're going to get in and get out and just kind of, see where it goes. I got a basketball game to watch tonight, too, Warriors and Nets. But I digress. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe and become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Let's get into it. About 2:30 this afternoon, reported Adam Scheffler and Jeff Darlington of NFL Network reported Tom Brady retiring from the NFL. Okay. Now, before we get too far gone with that, Tom's agent, Don Yee, issued the following statement. I understand the advanced speculation about Tom's future without getting into the accuracy or inaccuracy of what's being reported. Tom will be the only person to express his plans with complete accuracy. He knows the realities of the football business and planning calendar as well. So, before you get your wagon hitched, let's make sure, let's hear it from the horse's mouth first. But when I heard that, I was surprised, but then I kind of wasn't, because if you heard his comments after the loss on Sunday to the Rams, you kind of heard a part of Tom Brady that you hadn't heard before. Stuff like, I got to be a better, parent, father to my children, and Giselle deserves a husband that's there. And, I'm paraphrasing, but it basically said some of that same sentiments. And everything up until that point you've ever heard from Tom Brady is like, shoot, I'm going, whatever it comes, I'm gonna play until I'm 50. I'm playing whatever it is. I'm playing. Okay. And he has a competitive spirit that really no other quarterback that I can remember of recent memory really matches that. Something maybe Brett Favre. He's always playing. He's always gonna play, and it's always about the game. It's always about. So then you hear him talking after that game. We kind of had sort of a finality to it. So I don't know, but all I'm gonna say, come, a high water, it has or is having the most wonderful career a quarterback's ever had in the history of the NFL. Now I'm gonna stop short of saying he's the greatest player ever. I'm not gonna say that because in my eyes, the greatest player I ever saw was Jerry Rice in my time, and I kind of don't put quarterbacks in the same box as I do football players. But as far as quarterbacks is concerned, I'm kind of partial to Joe Montana, but I will admit that Tom Brady probably had the best career of anybody that's ever played in the NFL position, regardless. He's had the best career. His career is better than anybody else that's ever had a career in the NFL. Now, does that mean he's the best player? I'm not saying that, and I'm not gonna say he's the best quarterback. Like I said, I'm gonna go Montana, but or Peyton. I'm gonna say those guys, or Marino. But he's right up there with those guys. But his numbers, man, really can't be debated. I mean, I could start to, and be 20 minutes and still running off stats, but he's all-time leader in wins. The dude got 243 wins against 73 losses. That's a 76.8 winning percentage, tops all times. Okay, that means he's averaging 12 games a season. That's what that means. Okay, 12 and a half games a season. That's his average. Okay. So if he goes 11-5, that's like, man, what the heck going on here? We rebuilding. 15 Pro Bowls if you need it. Okay. That means you were at the best of your position in your conference 15 times. And I think he started like 11 of those. He was a starter. Super Bowl MVPs. Now, one reading I said, he said he had 4, and I'm trying to remember them all. I know the last 2 he was Super Bowl MVP. The 16 and 18, 14 and 16. I know he was, and then I know I know he was in 2003. And I know 2004 was Deion Branch. And I guess he was in 2001. So I know he was 2001, 2003. He was 2004 was Deion Branch. So, and then he, I know 2014 was him because they came back against the Seahawks. And then definitely in 2016 when he came back against the Falcons. All right. But I do know that in 2018 when he beat the Rams the second time, it was Julian Edelman that was the Super Bowl MVP, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's 4 of the 7, I think. It doesn't matter, 4 or 5. He's got 3 league MVPs, okay? Because that's not tops, that's Peyton Manning with 5, and we think Aaron Rodgers is going to get his 4th, so he's not high in those regards, but, he's got 7 championships. That's more than every other franchise. Now, he got 6 with the Patriots and 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he's got, he's second player ever to win 2 championships for 2 different franchises as a quarterback. Peyton Manning being the first. He all-time leader in attempts with 11,317. All-time leader in completions, 7,263, which is a completion percentage on an average of 64.2%. Now, in today's NFL, that doesn't seem like a high percentage, but you have to remember his career started in 2001. Okay, so totally different game in 2001 than it is now. Okay, the reason I know, you remember that hit that Drew Bledsoe took by Mo Lewis that got him into the game? He'd have got suspended for that hit today. All right, that's how I know. It's a different game. It was a different game. That was just he just knocked him out of bounds. Wasn't no flag or nothing. Okay, different game. So a lot of his 50-60% of his career was in the time when completions was harder to come by. So I guarantee you his last like 6-7 years, I think he's completed like 70%, 65-70%. So but still 64.2 is not nothing to sneeze at. And then 84,520 yards, 84,520, 84,000 yards. My gosh, which is first. And then I know a few years ago when Peyton hit his 520th touchdown, it was like, yeah, all right, Peyton, they ain't gonna never be touching. Peyton said, hold my beer. I'm gonna play another 5-6 more seasons. And he obliterated that. And eventually, it was Drew Brees that got it, but then Tom Brady came on it and got there with 624 touchdowns. Now, I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I don't think none of them records will ever be broke because it's a couple of records. I think his record of the amount of yards, the completions, the attempts, the completions, the touchdowns, the yards. I don't think they're going to be touched. Now I do realize that the game is more of a pass happy game now, but dude, you know how long you got to play in order to put up stats like that, he played 22 years. He played 20 for the Patriots and 2 for the Bucks. He played 22 years. He only missed 15 games in those 22 years. That was one season. And he missed 4 games in 2016, was it? Due to the Deflategate. I think he missed 4 games in that season. So he's missed, what is that? 19 games in his career. Only 15 of them was due to injury. You know, he got hurt in that first game against Kansas City when Bernard Pollard hit him low and tore his ACL in the first game of the 2008 season. And he didn't play the rest of that season. And he came back the next season and he played. And of course, now he didn't go back to a Super Bowl until 11. But what I'm saying is that in order for you, it's not enough just to put up stats. You got to play. You got to actually get in the games. And nobody other than Brett Favre, nobody answered the bell every game, but Drew, Brett Favre, Eli Manning, and Tom Brady. None of the guys, nobody else answered the bell like them guys right there. Okay, so in order to beat these records, you got to play. You know, you got to play. He started 316 games. Okay, 316 games. Okay, so in order to put up stats like that, that means you won't have to play 20 seasons, or you're gonna play 18 seasons and put up 5,000 yards a season, which is something that's only been done like 10 times in the history of the NFL. Okay, let me tell you what he did in year 22. This particular year 2021. He threw for 5,316 yards and 43 touchdowns. Year 44, if you need him. Now, he did throw it more than anybody else. He threw it out like 700 times, but let that mess you up. But yeah, certainly the game will be far harder to watch without him being there. A lot of people love to hate on him. You know, I used to give him some grief, when he played for the Patriots, and used to, like to see them get knocked out. But I respect what he brought to the game. I respect his professionalism and his attention to detail and how he played the quarterback position. Always had an immense amount of respect for his approach to the game and how he didn't cheat the game. He didn't, I know they said, well, he cheated the Belichick's and Spygate and Flame, whatever, man. That Deflategate is some bull because both guys' teams are playing with the same freaking football. So if it's easier for him to throw, isn't it just as easy for somebody to intercept? I'm not getting into that. Now the Spygate, I can't give you nothing on that. That's a Bill Belichick thing. I ain't messing with that. And to prove to you that that's a for real thing, Josh McDaniels was trying to do that when he was in Denver and he got caught. Where do you think he learned that? So I can't give you nothing on that. But when I say he didn't cheat the game, I mean he gave you everything he had every time he was out there. And that I had my hats off when you do that. When you show up, you come to play, and you got my respect. And he got my respect for 22 years. And the game is in a worse place without him being there. Now, so we don't know. So what we should be expecting is a press conference coming from Tom Brady himself, signifying that this particular thing took place. And but I want to make sure that got said during my video so that you know that, hey, I ain't just running and hiding with this, like these other people, because hey, he ain't said it. This is coming from Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington. This coming from them guys, which those respected reporters. Okay. But look, man. Even though I thought this last game was a little Hollywood scripted, I'm on record for saying that. Tom Brady will always go down. Like I said, he went down like a G, like a warrior. And that's what he always be to me, a warrior. Gave it all he had and, had the best career of anybody that ever played in the NFL. 22 years of excellence. And, man, it's not going to be the same without him. But as we turn the page, if it indeed he does come out and say that that's what he's going to do, maybe he saw the handwriting on the wall. Because I was talking to my son. My son's a big Tom Brady fan, so he was like, well, maybe he's not. I was like, but dude, you got to understand that a lot of players took 1-year deals to run it back. Okay, took a lot less. Devontae David and a lot of other guys took less money in order to come back because they thought they had something special, and they did. And the NFL, the season is so physical and is so taxing on the body. You wouldn't ask nobody to do that twice. When you only got a finite amount of years that you can play a very violent sport, and you can't really go a year, more than a year, not making the maximum amount of dollars you could make, because you got a finite amount of time that you can play. So it would not be good, because I know they franchised, I want to say it was Godwin, and I know Godwin got hurt, and a lot of other guys took deals. Shaq Barrett, a whole bunch of guys. Shaq Barrett was going to get paid, okay? And he took a hometown deal so that he could, stay with let's run this thing back, because they created such a family. Because that's the other thing I like about Brady. He seems to bring all his guys together. They love playing with him. I can't say that about every quarterback, okay? Can't say that about every quarterback. I'm not sure I can say that about Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I don't know if I can say that about Ben Roethlisberger. Okay, I don't know if I can say that about all these quarterbacks. I don't know if I can say that about Carson Wentz. I don't know if I can say that about all of the guys. I don't know. All I know is everybody that's played with Tom Brady, they run through walls for that dude. So that's something in of itself. It's enough to put up stats and command the offense to it. You got to make other guys want to play with you. All right. So a lot of guys took hometown discounts. He took a hometown discount. A guy like Tom Brady could easily make $45-50 million a year. Easy. All right. For what he's done for the game. But I'll take 25. Because I make money in all these things. My TB12 things does this and whatever. And he's got a supermodel wife that makes $100 million. I'm guessing here. I don't necessarily need the money, but that way I can put guys around me. Okay. See, a lot of guys ain't figured that out yet. I can put a better team around me if I took a little bit less. Not significant less, but a little less. So I can get that extra wide receiver. I can get that extra offensive lineman. I can get that extra running back, or I can get that extra defender so we get the ball back more. He played that. He been playing that game a long time when he was at New England. He played that game. Now, when he was in New England, I don't know what they did with the money that he saved them, because I never saw them really get any big time free agent that they spent money for. But yeah, it's not enough to just play well and put up stats and do all that. A lot of guys did that, but you got to make guys want to be in the foxhole with you. And everybody you see, who you think Gronk came out of retirement for? He ain't doing that for nobody else. He's doing it to play for with Tom. He retired from the Patriots after Tom left the Patriots. I'm done. And Tom's in Tampa. Come on, Gronk. It's good weather. Let's go. All right, man. I'm there. So something to be said for that. But anyhow, but the other side of this thing that, if this is true, my other thing is the timing of it, because I sort of got an issue when guys do things and it kind of upstages the other things that are going on. And I hate to be critical in a time like this, but that's, Uncle Fred thinks things on a lot of different levels. Okay. So what would have been the difference in announcing your retirement this week as opposed to, I don't know, after the Super Bowl, maybe a week after the Super Bowl? Okay. Because for those people that don't like Tom Brady, now I'm not a fan, but I appreciate his work, his game, and everything. But to a Tom Brady cynic, and there's a plenty of them out there, Rob Parker, Max Kellerman, and some others. They might look at that as an angle. Oh, so you think you so good, you can upstage the NFC and AFC championship games, huh? You're gonna upstage, that this big massive game is going on, but ain't nobody gonna be talking about that. They're gonna be talking about you. So some of his cynics are gonna have that to say. Because I'm looking at that and I'm like, yeah, the timing, he could have done that couple of weeks from now, and it'd have been the same thing. It's still the off season. I mean, because it comes across like you trying to upstage the game that you play. And I don't care who you are. I want y'all to hear me when I say this. I do not care who you are, especially in this league. Never bigger than the shield. Never be, because maybe the next guy to come along ain't gonna be Tom Brady, but he's gonna be good in the NFL. Still gonna sell. It's gonna sell out, and it's still gonna break the bank on prime time venues. Okay, so I have issues when guys think they're bigger than the game they play. Or the game's gonna stop when I leave. No, they kind of not. They're kind of not. They kind of gonna keep right on going. Hey, so that's what I tell people in these other sports. Like, man, yeah, man, I know the NBA is good. Yeah, it's gonna be it when LeBron James hangs it up. It's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be that's why you got to be a fan of the game, not a fan of the players, because the players come and go. Game goes on forever. Teams go on forever. They go on. They're gonna go on. So if he did that, yeah, I'm kind of frowning on that. If it just like, look, man, I'm gonna get this out the way for while people will speculate. Let me get this on out the way, and it may be innocent like that. But if he did this in some sort of effort to like, hey, man, I'm bigger than the game. I'm gonna upstage this whole thing. These big games they got on Sunday. They ain't gonna be talking about that. They're gonna be talking about me. Well, shame on you if you did that. And but I don't want to think that. But I just want y'all to be cognizant of some of the things that could go on, could be at play here. But yeah, Tom Brady maybe retiring from the NFL after 22 seasons in the NFL, 7 championships, okay, and all these records go down of having the greatest career of anybody that's ever played in the NFL. Maybe the greatest career of anybody that's ever played any sport. Their careers will pale in comparison to that of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., Skip likes to say. And all I can say is a career well played, Tom. Well played. Well played, bro. If this is it, and you really are gone, man, you left us with a lot of memories, man. A lot of adulation, and a lot of pissed off folks too that were rooting against you. I've been one of them, but I appreciate the game that you played. But that's all I got today from the desk of Uncle Fred. It's bittersweet because, like, as a football fan, sorry to see Tom go, because he meant a lot to the game, and what he brought to the game meant a lot to it. And the league was so much better for him having, laced them up. And so if he's done lacing them up, thanks for the memories, bro. Thanks for the memories. But that's all I got from the desk of Uncle Fred. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. hit that notification bell as well, so you'll know when the next time I put in a video. But that's all I got. See you guys on the next video.